I'd like to call this meeting to order. This meeting is being held in accordance with Public Laws of 1975, Chapter 231. An adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a notice sent to the Star Ledger, the local source, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the Township website. I ask that you all please rise, and I would ask Committeeman Huber to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I ask you respectfully to remain standing for a moment of silence for all those who serve our country, both near and not so near. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor Capides.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser.
Present.
Committeeman Huber. Committeeman Laufer. Committeeman Weber.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Proclamations and announcements. We have several proclamations tonight, but before I do that, just some general announcements. For everyone, Memorial Day is Monday, May 29th. The ceremony will be at 10 a.m. at Veterans Park, followed by a parade to the high school. Free hot dogs and drinks by Springfield Hillside Elks Lodge 2004. An exhibition game will be played on the turf field, and in case of rain, the ceremony will be held inside the high school auditorium. Our Pride Month flag raising event will be this Wednesday, May 31st at 4:30, Chisholm front parking lot. We ask that you please RSVP on Community Pass, and if you have any questions, call 973-912-2227. The Springfield residents age 55 and better June calendar has been released. Please check out all the activities that we have for the month of June. Splash into summer at the pool. Register at thesay.org/SCP for pool membership. The Township, the September townwide garage sale will be the weekend of September 9th and 10th, with bulk pickup on Wednesday, September 20th. If you have any bulk you would like to get rid of, please put it on the curb at that time. Also, we have the garage sale always leading up to it. And primary election day is Tuesday, June 6th, with polls open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. The vote by mail ballot box is behind Chisholm near the handicap ramp. It's open, and ballots are picked up every day by a bipartisan team. Poll workers are in need in Springfield. If you are interested in being a poll worker, please call the Board of Elections at 908-527-4213. The pay is $300. And just another announcement, there is the mailbox that's in front of Chisholm by the ramp. It's the second box as you pull into the back parking lot. There is a mailbox that's first, but it's for retired flags. We usually put some type of covering over it, so it's not the first mailbox you see as you go to the back parking lot. It's the second one by the ramp into the senior center. Would like to congratulate the First Aid Squad on a very successful open house they had last Sunday. I think the piece de resistance of the whole open house was the arch balloon. I was very impressed by it. And earlier tonight, we had another successful pizza with the police at TD Pizza. We appreciate everyone's cooperation. That was a great event. It was certainly more attended than last time, and we thank you all for coming out. Speaking of proclamations at the top, we have 3 tonight. The first one, it's an honor for me to do for National Gun Violence Awareness Day, June 2nd, 2023. Is Carol here? Carol, I'm sorry we didn't meet before the meeting. I have a proclamation I would like to read to you. I thank you for your cooperation with us and your diligence and your steadfast dedication to this endeavor. I'm going to read the proclamation and then I will present it to you. Whereas every day, 93 Americans on average are killed by gun violence and countless others are injured. And whereas Americans are 25 times more likely to be murdered by firearms than people in other developed countries. And whereas suicide attempts involving guns are over 45 times more fatal than attempts involving overdoses and around 30 times more fatal than those involved cutting or stabbing, and almost 3 times more fatal than suicide attempts by jumping. And whereas citizen and government efforts to keep guns out of the hands of those who are likely to misuse them is not inconsistent with the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, and whereas the organizers of the National Gun Violence Awareness Day proposed that residents of the United States wear orange on June 2nd to raise awareness of and to honor those who have fallen victim to gun violence. And whereas the Township of Springfield, Union County, New Jersey, supports efforts of private citizens and governmental entities to reduce gun violence, and whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our community safe. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Christopher Capides, Mayor, on behalf of the Township Committee of the Township of Springfield, Union County, New Jersey, declare June 2nd, 2023 to be Gun Violence Awareness Day in the Township of Springfield, and encourage members of the community who wish to honor those who have been victimized by gun violence to wear orange on that day. And to this proclamation is our township seal and our signature. I proudly present this to you, and I would just like to invite you, if you have a few words that you would like to address everybody. Tamara, would you mind stepping out for us, please?
Why don't you, you could take a picture. Why don't you take a picture
Yeah,
first?
can we take a picture first? That'd be great. Thank you very much, Mayor and Town Council of Springfield. I represent Moms Demand Action of Union County, which is the group that is supporting our Wear Orange events across the county, and we very much appreciate your support. We know that the gun violence that we see in the United States is a uniquely American problem, and we know that there are evidence-based solutions that can prevent it. And so that's what the mission of our group, and we'd like to spread the word that all of us can get involved and do the work culturally and legislatively to prevent gun violence. But Wear Orange is about awareness and about education, and we'd gladly like to invite everyone to our Union County Wear Orange event, which will be held on Saturday, June 3rd, at 11 a.m. in Rahway River Park. We'll be having a peace walk and family gathering at the park there, where, again, we will all wear orange and raise awareness, and you can find out how you can get more involved in the mission. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Quick comment.
Sure, absolutely.
Everybody, thank you to all the volunteers who, you do Omen's work for what you do, and we all appreciate you. And, we recognize whatever it is, National Gun Violence Day, week, whatever it is, but we must recommit ourselves. And while New Jersey is still one of the safest states in the nation in gun violence, we still have a federal judiciary which wishes to overturn the will of the people. And you talk about a uniquely American problem. We have lots of uniquely American problems that we try to tackle in our state, and the judiciary, which I would call an activist judiciary now, oversteps and guts those laws and puts us all in danger. The decision last week by that judge to allow people to open carry on beaches, on parks, on bars is senseless. It's not only senseless, it's the dumbest thing that we could possibly do after 100-something years, 80-something years of New Jersey having a concealed carry law, which has not only kept our citizenry safe, but our police safe. And now to put those people in danger and put more guns onto the streets, it's an actuary problem. More guns in the hands of people does not keep us safer. It does the complete opposite. And we know the facts are the facts, and you cannot argue it. So thank you for all you do. It's your activism that hopefully will get us in a place where we are all safer, our children are safer, and that's a testament to all of you. So while I'm wearing purple tonight, I forgot about orange. I would have worn my orange tie in solidarity, so thank you.
Tough act. Wow. So in my past life as a senior staffer in the state senate, I worked intimately on the past couple gun bills in the state of New Jersey. And to say that I heard from Moms Demand Action volunteers is the understatement of the millennium. So I just want to applaud your activism, your commitment, and the fact that you all came out on a Tuesday night to get a proclamation from a town council or township committee is admirable. And now in my new capacity, we work together with Moms Demand Action. I look forward to working with all of you and making sure that we're in this together and that New Jersey remains safe. Thank you very much. And on June 2nd, I bought orange pants, so I'm going to wear orange.
What I appreciate about this proclamation is the sentence where it says, "We renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our community safe." I'm a gun owner. It is possible to get along with everybody and make this work. Now, I differ in opinion a little bit from others, but I do appreciate that sentence because I do believe that certain things are overlooked when it comes time to ownership, or certain issues are overlooked in the long term of ownership, meaning that, certain life events happen. You could be a, normal gun owner on one day, and then a few years later something happens or something changes your circumstance, and that circumstance changes then, and maybe you shouldn't be one at that point. So I do agree with you guys that things need to be looked at heavily, and I thank you guys for standing up and doing what you got to do. And from my part, as somebody who is an owner of one, I acknowledge that. I acknowledge you have to have checks and balances, so thank you.
It was an honor for us to do this, to proclaim National Gun Violence Awareness Day, and just my takeaways from this. You have Township Committee people up here from all different walks of life. You have two that work in state legislature, one that is a former law enforcement officer, one that goes to New York City every single day, and a school administrator. And you see about how this topic affects all of those lives, and how it affects all of us in all of our different little pods through all our different lenses. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your commitment. And thank you for allowing us to give an opportunity to recognize how important this issue is to our community, to our family, and to the people that we see every day. So thank you, and please, I applaud you for your courageousness and your commitment to this issue, and keep on fighting a good fight. Thank you. Moving on to our first aid squad, we have two proclamations. I'm going to read them back to back, and then whoever would like to come up and receive them on behalf of the Springfield First Aid Squad may do so. The first one is a proclamation to designate the week of May 21st to May 27th, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services Week, where emergency care begins. Whereas emergency medical services, it is a vital public service, and whereas the members of the emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas emergency medical service systems consist of emergency physicians, emergency nurses, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, and others who are on the front line selflessly and tirelessly responding to all in need during the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas the members of emergency medical service teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. Whereas our township relies not only upon the members of our first aid squad, but also upon the generosity of those residences and businesses that provide the financial support to fund EMS equipment, operations, and training. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of the emergency medical services system by designating Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, I, Christopher Capides, Mayor of the Township of Springfield, on behalf of the Township Committee, do hereby proclaim the week of May 21st through May 27, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services Week. We have affixed our township seal and my signature. The second proclamation that I'm going to present is for Emergency Medical Services for Children's Day, May 24th, 2023, to designate May 24th, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services for Children's Day. Whereas millions of American children receive emergency medical care each year due to illness or injury, and whereas the needs of children are different than the needs of adults in medical emergency. Whereas the goal of Emergency Medical Services for Children is to help states and communities prepare for medical traumatic emergency involving a child through the provision of properly trained emergency personnel, sufficiently equipped ambulances, pediatric-ready emergency departments, and a well-defined pediatric treatment protocols and procedures. And whereas Emergency Medical Services for Children relies on its established partnership with the Emergency Medical Services EMS community, as well as physicians and nurses who provide pediatric emergency care to help states and communities reduce child and youth disability and death due to severe illness or injury. And whereas Emergency Medical Services for Children, the tens of thousands EMS providers and acute care professional its services, and more than 23 professional organizations in which it partners are committed to improving the quality of emergency care children receive. And whereas it is proper and timely to bring recognition to the value and accomplishments of Emergency Medical Services for Children and the dedicated men and women who work tirelessly to improve the quality of pediatric medical care. Whereas Emergency Medical Services for Children assist in the development of training programs and guidelines for emergency care providers so that children with special health care needs receive timely, appropriate care. Now, therefore, I, Christopher Capides, the Mayor of the Township of Springfield, on behalf of the Township Committee, do hereby proclaim the date of May 24, 2023 as Emergency Medical Services for Children's Day. We have affixed our Springfield seal and my signature. And I would like to invite representatives of our Springfield First Aid Squad to come up so I may present these proclamations, and then if you would like to say a few words, we'd be honored.
Mayor and Township Committee, on behalf of the squad, I want to thank you all for recognizing us. And I also want to point out that next year, 2024, is our 75th anniversary of the Springfield First Aid Squad. Pretty proud of that. And you mentioned that during EMS week, we had a couple of activities, very well attended, an open house on Sunday, and the weather cooperated, and we had a lot of people, and, you know, we're always looking for members, as you know, to join, but it also showcases who we are, and people get to see our members, our equipment, ambulances, and some of the things that we can, you know, present to them as they stop by. We also had a very successful blood drive on Friday that we sponsored with, I believe, 39 units of blood collected, so another success. So, you know, again, on behalf of our members, and we're really happy and thankful that you recognize us and keep us in the spotlight in the township. And we're here for all of you. And again, I just want to say thank you for the great honor.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the work you do.
Oh, I have a comment, but I'll go last.
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll go anchor.
As a recovering EMT, I want to say that you guys are a bunch of badasses, if I could say that up here. And thank you for your work. The Springfield First Aid Squad does amazing work. Recently, you know, you guys came and assisted my 98-year-old grandfather, who still thinks I'm 7 and won't let me treat him. But thank you so much. You guys make the town a better place, and 75 more years. Thanks.
My job as a police officer was easy. You had two choices: get your stuff and get out of here, or get in the car. And that was it. I used to look at anybody who showed up at the scene and what you guys had to deal with whenever I had to call for a bus. I can't do it. I couldn't do it. There's no way I could do it. Man, you guys are really, I don't know if you're underappreciated, but you, boy, oh boy, the stuff, if there was a camera that followed you around and everybody saw what you had to deal with, they wouldn't be able to believe it. Thank you.
Closing it out.
I just want to say thank you. I mean, I've known Liz a long time. I know her mother. They ran the First Aid Squad for as long as I've been here. I'm here 50 years. So, I mean, without you, we wouldn't have anything.
Thank you.
To President, so first off, you're my second favorite clerk because I have Linda, so, but you are my favorite president of the First Aid Squad. So to you, but to all your members who I got to meet earlier today, some of you multiple times, right? It all takes a village to make this work. We all give a little bit of ourselves in this town to make it a better community. Some of us serve as coaches on rec baseball or soccer. Others serve on a planning board and board of adjustment. Some of us put on a silly tie and serve up here. But then there's some helpers that go above and beyond, and that's you guys. And now some of you probably heard that I use the Mr. Rogers quote all the time that I love so much. You know, when you're reminded as a little boy, bad things happen, but you got to you got to see the good in it. And seeing you guys, you're the good in anything that goes wrong. Hey, there's bad, there's tragedies, there's sadness every single day. What you deal with. No one wants to get a call and go see the First Aid Squad. It's just not a good time. But it shows us that there is still good because there's helpers that are helping somebody get through that. And that's you guys, and you're more than helpers. You're probably, honestly, to those individuals that need that assistance, you're heroes. And there's not enough thanks in the world for what you guys do as first responders as volunteers, but you're all just trying to make our community a little better place. One of you as a high school student, you on your senior year could be out on a Tuesday night with a month to go partying it up, but you're not. You're serving your community. Why? Because you want to make a difference. To the other one who's new to town, right? Just a year. You ran by and said, hey, I can help my community. So to all of you, it's much appreciated. There isn't enough thanks. I love hanging with you guys, and you truly make our little village a better place to live. So thank you.
And I just want to say my first experience with first responders of any kind was when I was a little boy, seeing my father go out on calls, because we grew up in Union and he used to be involved with the Coleman's emergency unit. So that was kind of my first experience about any type of first responder. But as you all are familiar with, when I got here, one of my first interactions was with the first aid squad. I know most of you back there. I've went on a couple of ride-alongs with you guys, and I've seen what you do in action, and you're second to none. The training that you receive, the skills that you acquire, just thank you all for your service. And I also, maybe they're not here, but also not only thanks to you, but thanks to your families for allowing you to give out some family time to go out and help other people. And I have some of the greatest respect for people that when everybody's running away from the problem, you're running towards people to help, and we appreciate it. Thank you. My last announcement tonight is a redevelopment announcement. Of course, Mr. Vasicolo will have further details. But a notice of unsafe structure has been issued regarding 26 Center Street. It has no water and temporary utilities. It has been used illegally as a construction office. It is our understanding that the owner has now sought permits to cap the utilities and begin the process to remove the structure. We will continue to enforce all applicable laws to have this structure removed from the site. It is not safe and should not be a construction office. Upon its removal, it is likely that the project will seek to have a typical construction trailer placed on the premises with appropriate utilities and permits. Certain pouring of cement has occurred on the Caldwell Place side of the project. We continue to request that fire standpipes be installed so that any fire safety issues are addressed. The fire chief has been excellent in reviewing the site and demanding that the hydrant on the corner of Caldwell Place and Morris Avenue be accessible. We continue to demand that Morris Avenue sidewalk be made safe and open to the public. Verizon has checked its utility pole to ensure it is safe. The rights-of-way on Caldwell Place and Center Street also need to be reopened, and it is the primary focus of our Special Redevelopment Council. A court hearing to that end is scheduled for June 2nd in Elizabeth. And finally, our zoning official had brought certain summonses with regard to structure on 26 Center Street, which will be scheduled before the municipal court. I usually say this after every meeting, every update that I give. There is a lot of work going on right now. Unfortunately, the type of work that's going on, you just can't see. But it is our hope that more and more progress is being made every day. And in short time, you will see more and more action on that site. But there's definitely more to follow with Mr. Basicolo's report, his admin report. Does anyone have any announcements up here? All right, I'm going to call for a quick 5-minute recess. Thank you. Okay, we are back in session. We are going to the public comment portion of our meeting on agenda items only. If you have a comment on agenda items only, please come to the microphone. State your name and address for the record. You'll have 4 minutes to speak,
Only 4
after which
minutes?
the Township Committee will respond if applicable.
Hello. Jerry Fernandez, 393 Hillside Avenue. Just
Good
quick,
to see you, Mr. Fernandez.
nice to see you, Mayor, and everyone else on the Township Committee. And congratulations, Mr.
Thank you, sir.
The improper office that you just spoke about on the redevelopment area, was there a fine given to them for that? Or,
I do not have that answer. I could probably get that answer, but I know there was notice of violation, but I don't know if there was a specific fine for that specific violation.
thank you very much.
Anyone else? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment portion of the meeting. Move on to reports. Administration, Mr. Basicolo, good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to pick up where you left off with the Gomes property, just give you a little more of an update. Today, actually, we had them come in and took out permits for the electric in the building, for the office trailer that should arrive tomorrow. They also took out a permit for temporary, electric for temporary construction. They are capping the water in the sewer at the street. And all of this is leading up to the demo of 26 Center Street. So they have to do pest control, asbestos removal, that type of thing. There's a whole list of what's got to be done in order to knock that building down. But that should be done probably within the next 30 days. That should be gone and carted away. Touch on a couple other things that have happened in the past couple of weeks. You touched on the decking that was the concrete was poured on the Caldwell side a couple weeks ago. They've now got the decking done on the Morris Avenue side, and the pins are in. They have to put down the mesh, and then the concrete will be poured either the end of this week or beginning of next. There's some cabling that was put in, safety cabling to go around any openings so someone can't fall. They actually have a new manager on site that's going to take over the construction. And today he was there and I spoke to him. One of the first things he was doing was cleaning the site up, starting to put things in piles where they belong, which is going to look much better than it did and make them more efficient as they go forward. They had block delivered today and they had some lentils delivered to go over the windows today also. The crane was on site today and steel was being put up on the Center Street side. That should be finished in about 30 days. And that will be all the steel and is up. From our DPW side, just a couple of things we're working on. The next streets to be renovated are Twin Oaks Oval, Franklin Place, Sherwood Road, and Kane Street from South Maple to Johanna Way. This project also includes sanitary sewer repairs to a portion of Colonial and replacing 420 feet of 36-inch storm pipe on Kane. We're still combating I&I on our sewer system. We found over 100 manholes that were leaking water into the system. When that happens, that's clean water that goes into the system, goes to Rollway River Valley Sewage Authority. We get charged for cleaning that water. So you don't want that infiltration. So there's a process by which those manholes are sealed. So that's what we've been working on. We've done over 100 of those. Our exceedances so far this year are at 7. We're allowed 10 for the year. We're down considerably from where we were a year ago. And Craig, I think, we've spoken because we've gone to Rollway Valley to speak to them on what we're doing to try to stop this. A lot of it depends really on the rain we get, if it overwhelms the system, that type of thing. It makes it very difficult. But we are seeing improvement on that. Memorial Day, you touched on, Mr. Mayor. Veterans Park was spruced up for Memorial Day. Crews are also finishing up last-minute details prior to opening the pool. And that will be ready for Saturday. Other than that, I do have a bunch of meetings tomorrow, actually. One thing that I find encouraging is we have developers still coming in to see us. The town is still a great investment opportunity for developers. It's a desirable location. So I think that's a plus for us that we're still on the radar. So we'll hopefully have some things in the future for the committee to be able to look at and bring to the public.
Anybody who says anything about supplying the listings and everything else, on average, we would have 30 to 40 houses on the market any month for whatever year. Now we have between 5 and 10, maybe 11.
Yeah,
We can't keep housing on the market here for more than a week.
it's a good thing. Are there any questions or comments I could answer for anyone?
Turn your mic on, Rich.
There you go.
To answer Mr. Fernandez, and you can answer better than I can. We have been finding him, Mr. Gomes, regularly. I mean, for everything that he's done wrong. Am I correct, or we've been,
Yeah, but on the house, I don't believe Jerry fined him. We put his up as an unsafe structure. He's got X amount of days to get it knocked down. We've been up there, we've told him he can't be in it. And again, that's the construction officials, that's under his purview if he chooses to fine him or not. We are, as you mentioned, Mr. Mayor, we have actually 2 court dates with him, one tomorrow and one on June 2nd, I believe it is. So we're on him constantly. I can tell you, and not that it maybe makes a whole lot of difference, but between myself, Mike Disco, our engineer, our zoning officer, we're up there every day. And today I was up there twice actually checking on what was going on because he was discharging water into the sanitary sewer that didn't have a sock on it to filter out any dirt. So we stopped that again today.
we also have a PM that's working up there, am I correct?
Yes, we do. We have a project manager that we've hired. We meet on site with the owners once a week, and we go over, and our project manager kind of tells them if they come up with a schedule, is it realistic? Is he doing things in the proper order? That type of thing. So again, that's just been a help for us because we don't necessarily have all the expertise that someone like that would have. And again, that comes out of escrow.
Mr. Pasiglo, the sidewalk on Caldwell side.
Yes. Here's what we're trying to do with that. Now, Mike Disco, our engineer, is working with the owner right now. If you look now on that side, on the project itself, they put block up. The first part of that building is block and then it's window. So they're working on the block as we speak. Once that is up, he's gonna move put scaffolding up, move barriers. The Jersey barriers will be moved in, and then the fence will be moved in against the scaffolding. And that should open up the sidewalk. We're trying to get that done. We're trying to get that done as soon as possible. I will keep you informed as we go along. And Mr. Disco has to approve the plan on that and make sure that it's safe. So we will keep you up to date on that as we move forward.
So we're close.
Yeah, and Morris Avenue, if you look at that, they backfilled all of the Morris Avenue side. That sidewalk is close to also being open right now. He's got some repairs to do to it. There's some some slabs that are cracked. They have to be repaired before we open it up. Because again, our main concern is we want to make sure it's safe. We don't want somebody getting hurt. But Morris Avenue is just about there.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Mr. Pasiglo? Thank you, sir. Minutes and reports, please. I have a motion.
Make a motion to adopt regular and executive meeting minutes of March 14th. Regular executive meeting minutes of March 28th. Regular and executive meeting minutes of April 11, 2023, as emailed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have several ordinances on second reading, 3 as a matter of fact. Is that correct, Madam Clerk? Okay. Madam Clerk, would you please read the...
Yes.
title?
Ordinance 2023-12. This ordinance amends provisions of the Township Code with respect to the positions of Assistant Recycling Coordinator and Clean Communities Coordinator.
The Mayor, as read by Clerk, ordinance 2023-12, for publication in the local source June 1st. 2023.
I will second.
Okay, right now, I would like to open the public hearing portion of this ordinance. If anyone would like to speak on ordinance 2023-12, please come forward to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. You'll have 4 minutes to speak on this ordinance, and then the Township Committee may respond. Seeing no one coming to the microphone, I'm going to close the public hearing portion of this ordinance. Is there any discussion up here? We talked about this last meeting.
This is pretty common sense.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Laufer?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Capides?
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-13. This ordinance amends the existing ordinances governing certain employment positions to establish a compensation range for the position of Clean Communities Coordinator within the Township of Springfield.
Mr. Mayor, as read by Madam Clerk, ordinance 2023-13. With publication on a local source June 1st, 2023.
Second.
At this time, I'd like to open ordinance 2023-13 to the public hearing portion. If anyone would like to speak on this ordinance, please come forward and state your name and address for the record. You'll have 4 minutes to speak, and then after which the Township Committee may reply. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing portion of this ordinance and call any discussion up here. Excellent. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Committeeman Laufer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Capides?
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-14. This ordinance amends the provisions of the Township Code regarding the retiree health benefits for township employees.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2023-14 as read by Madam Clerk with publication in the local source on June 1st, 2023.
Second.
At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing portion of ordinance 2023-14. Anyone from the public wishing to be heard, please step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. You'll have 4 minutes, after which the Township Committee may reply. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing portion of this ordinance. Any discussion up here?
Common sense measure that will save us money in the long run.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Committeeman Laufer?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Capides?
Yes. Moving on to resolutions, I will ask for a motion by consent agenda. If you would like a resolution pulled, please let me know. Resolution 2023-146, 147, 148, 149, 150, 151, 152, 153, 154, 155, 156, 157, 158, 159, 160, 161, 162, 163, and 164. Do I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I will make a motion to adopt the resolutions on consent agenda.
Sure.
We're not doing this. Resolution 2023-146 through Resolution 2023-164.
Second.
I second extra words.
There you go.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Laufer?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Capides?
Yes, we have discussion and action items. Do I have, I'm sorry, do we have a action item, please?
Do I read it or you read it, Linda? Do I? All right. We have a resignation for Daniel Poltrock as a member of the Board of Adjustments, effective May 12th, 2023.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
We should vote on. Request for Congregation Israel waive the permit fees for HVAC at 339 Mountain Avenue in the amount of $575.
Second.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Committeeman Laufer?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Kapadas?
Yes.
Vote on the request of the high school for use of Ruby Field for overflow parking for the graduation, June 21 at 6 p.m.
Yes. Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeeman Laufer?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser?
Yes.
Committeeman Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Kapadas?
Yes.
Move the appointment of Michael Weckstein, member of the Board of Adjustment, to fill the term of Daniel Poltrock, expiring December 31, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move to appoint Anika Dodson Casimir as an alternate member of the Board of Adjustment to fill the term of Michael Weckstein, expiring December 31, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Michael, I just want people to know, what Michael Weckstein was on the committee all this time. We're not just picking somebody out of a hat and saying, okay, we're going to appoint him.
Correct.
Okay.
Move the resignation of Kevin Ruggiero as a member of the Board of Health.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move the request for the Jonathan Dayton High School PTO to use the Springfield Community Pool parking lot for graduation drop-off and pickup on June 21 and June 22.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And they did do this last year also, and Adam Alib has checked with the Summit Y, and everything is, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yay. My favorite part, because I get to talk more.
Oh, geez.
I'll make a motion to adopt payroll and invoices for the period of May 10th through May 23rd, 2023, in the amount of $4,988,154.93.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Kaiser.
Yes.
Committeeman Huber.
Yes.
Committeeman Laufer.
Yes.
Committeeman Weber.
Yes.
Mayor Kapadas?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody has received the April budget pool report, the April budget report from the town, the April revenue report, and the April pool revenue report. I hope you all read it, but more importantly, hopefully the township files it away accordingly.
Thank you. We have no correspondence that I'm aware of, so we'll move on to public comment on any governmental issue. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. You'll have 4 minutes to speak, and then the township committee may respond.
Hello, everyone. Steve Kizmarchik, 151 Baltusrol Avenue.
Good to see you again, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm back here to address the sewer backup that happened in the beginning of May in our neighborhood.
Sure.
Forgive me for a kind of a bad analogy. I appreciate there was more EMS here that they might get this because it's more of a medical analogy. I don't know of any one of your health issues or anything, but me I'm almost 40. And my doctor put me on a statin, which helps with cholesterol, atherosclerosis, and cardiovascular disease. But the guidelines say that if you have a 10% likelihood in the next 10 years to have a cardiovascular event, they'll start you on that. But it actually happens probably 20 years prior to that, the decisions you make in your life and what you eat and your exercise. So for me, addressing something that happens 10 years from now, where I could have prevented that overall. And I think that's a good analogy of what I'm sort of asking for tonight is that there be some sort of transparency, some protocol, some sort of way we can address these issues going forward to where we can report them, we can find out if they're being resolved, have they been resolved, will they be a problem in the future, instead of waiting for us to have a heart attack or an event for us to treat the problem. And that's sort of how society handles problems. They wait for there to be a problem, and you have to pay more insurance. They'll pay for your drugs, they'll pay for your surgeries, but they won't pay for me to go to the gym and eat healthy. So I want to kind of make that point that what will the committee and mayor, what would you guys do in order to prevent issues like this happening? Because it's not just my neighborhood, it's a systemic issue of, now we know clean water is coming into our sewer and making it flow into my house. And last time you brought up that You know, we don't cause the snow happens, but we still have to plow the snow. Well, you know, we all have to go to the bathroom. That's a natural thing. And if you guys didn't plow the roads, they'd be dangerous. If you do not maintain these sewer lines, then there will be a disaster in all of our houses. So that's all.
Okay, I'm sorry, just as a point of order, did you say your name and address
Yeah.
for the record?
Steve Kesmarchik, 151 Baltusrol Avenue.
Thank you. May I call you Steve?
Yes, sir.
So can you just tell me a little bit about the township's response? Or are you not satisfied with what they did when,
Well,
for the last meeting?
so yes, so there's two things. So I'm not happy that it happened in the first place, which shows that there was an issue long before one thing caused an issue to clog a pipe.
Sure.
And when they came to our neighborhood to address the situation, they borrowed a camera from Milburn
Right?
to look down. So that tells me right away that they don't have one and that there's not a.
That's
Well,
not
we-
true.
We have,
Okay.
we have one.
It was just-
It's a shared service that we enter into.
Okay, cool.
So we both pay well, hold on, I just want to.
Yep, no problem.
Milburn and Springfield both pay for use of this camera, so we share it. It's a shared service.
So then when we saw that, okay, that you share it, that's not a problem. We were told that it happens every 6 weeks and that the trucks are always doing their maintenance, but every single one of us have cameras on our houses, doorbell cameras, security systems, and a lot of us work from home, a lot of us are always around, we're all nosy neighbors, and we would love to see that there's some sort of documentation that says that these are maintenances on a schedule that are happening, and that this was an isolated incident, and it would probably never happen again, but you hit the lottery. So that's, you know, that we would just want to see that the town is doing their due diligence to make sure that this doesn't happen. It happened. Will it happen again? Do I have to install a valve in my house to make sure it doesn't come into my house, but it also affects all my neighbors, because if it's not going into my house, it's going somewhere else. Water just doesn't go nowhere. It goes somewhere.
So the camera that we use have actually two functions. It's preventative, okay, to see if something's there. We use it to try to find cracks in pipes. When we had the Railway Valley Sewage Authority here to, you know, when our water usage was too high, we look for cracks in the pipe. And the other part was an investigative measure, which I think it was used in an investigative manner for your situation. Now, I don't know how much was explained to you when they came out there, and maybe this is a more prudent to have offline, but there's certain responsibilities that happen with that pipe. If it's from the house to the street, it's the homeowner's responsibility. Was that explained to you?
Yeah, that the lateral is my
Correct. So
responsibility.
if there
yes.
is a preventative measure from any, that you want to put between the end of your property and the property itself, that would have to be done by you.
Yes. So then how do I prevent the street from coming to my house if I have that as well? Like that, you're asking me to, I'm a part of the system. I can't take myself out of the system. I can't just shut off the water whenever I don't want it, or shut off the sewer. Like I can't just do that. Like when it rains, should I just not go to the bathroom, not flush my toilets, and ask the neighbors not to? Like that's sort of what you're asking. That too bad, like if it's overused. And if there's rainwater coming in, there's clean water coming into our sewage and it's overwhelming it, how, that's my issue? Like that, so I should just cut off my house from the infrastructure?
No.
To make sure it doesn't happen?
What I'd like to do is I'd like you to talk to one of our professionals, because they could probably explain it a lot better than I can.
Understand.
Okay, because I think having this process here, which is good, I'm glad you're coming, we're all happy you're here because you're being involved and being a part of our township committee meeting, which I appreciate. But I think this conversation, this specific conversation, is better to have offline with one of our professionals that can give you the exact answer to your questions. I only know,
Understood.
I'm a, you know, I only know a general sense of how it works.
Understood. So at the
Really
end of
want
the day,
us-
we're
you-
looking for who's responsible for the upkeep of our systems and how they will not flow into my house ever again.
Well, that is, I mean, that's
And that's
a
not an act
hard
of
question,
God,
but
yeah.
that's something professional. The only thing that I know, and the one that I'm share with you, is that from your house to the street is your responsibility to keep clear.
Yes, and I have that insured. I have my house insured and then the lateral to the street insured for whatever happens. If I am accidentally digging in the front yard and I rupture it, my fault, my problem,
Right.
but I have that insured. I can't insure the street. I can't ensure that that is clear. I can't put a snake down there and make sure myself.
Right.
I have to rely on the town.
Well, I mean, I'll give you an example, and again, I think you should really talk to a professional that can give you options. For me, my basement flooded three times, and I invested money to have 2 sump pumps put in my house, so the water that I can't control, that I have no power over, can not
Yes.
get into my house anymore. I had to
Yeah,
make
I
a
also have-
financial investment.
I also have 2 and it didn't help.
Right.
Because it was an entire neighborhood, 3 neighborhoods actually, of sewage coming to my house. Like, you know, that's not just my kid put a G.I. Joe down the sink.
No, I
You know,
know.
it's the whole neighborhood put G.I. Joes down there.
And I think, again, does Mr. Basicolo have your contact number?
Yes, we were just waiting for the report and what.
Robbie's
what will be
writing a
done.
report, and we did a video, so that'll be available too.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Take it from there. You have any other issues?
Nope.
No, if you have any other issues, come on back or
We will.
or go directly to Mr. Basicolo.
right.
We'll help
Thank
you
you
out
for
the
the
best
time.
we can.
Appreciate it.
You got it.
Mr. Basicolo, if there are any resources that Robbie can think of that can assist them, please attach a list.
Of course.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public wishing to speak?
My name is Luigi Saracino, 146 Baltusrol Avenue, Springfield.
Good to see you again, sir.
Thank you. Good to see you as well. No, I just went through some dates, because last time I came up here and I said it happened 4 or 5 times in the past decade. So I found some information that I had made calls into the DPW at February 22nd, 2017, where water was coming out of the basement shower, sewer water, did not penetrate anything else but just the pan. March 14th, 2018, same thing happened. I called in. September 27th, 2019, I requested that the sewer was cleaned because the water wasn't coming out through the laterals. And then what happened on May 1st, 2023. The system has a problem. And, you know, Steve addressed it. I don't want to keep going back and forth because I know we're not all experts. But going into things, I mean, there's a groundwater issue in our neighborhood. A lot of people are pumping to the street, some are not, so there's water, clean water entering the sanitary system, which is a problem. And, you know, looking at the manhole covers is great, but they're at the apex of the street usually. And to get water through there, and the amount of water that drains, comes out of my sump pump, when it's bad, it could go 60 times in an hour for 3 to 4 gallons. It's a lot of water. It's a lot of water, and if it's pumping into the sanitary system, it's a big problem. So that's all I wanted to add. Waiting for Robbie's report, and I know you guys were out there a couple weeks ago, but it's concerning. It's a problem. So I'll wait for his report. That's all we can do for now. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Saracino. You said February of 17, March of 18, September of 19, and obviously this month. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak?
How are you? Jerry Fernandez, 393 Hillside Avenue. Couple of issues. One, I was wondering if there's any updates on the Mayor's Council for the flooding. And I know we debated last time about the lobbyist. I'm wondering what has been done or what that lobbyist has done over the last, since we last met, I think close to a year ago. Also, the property next to the playground by Rosner, that used to be the playground area where we had before, that we took the equipment out because of the trees. Wondering if the town was considering doing anything with that property. And one other thing, today I attended the BID's monthly meeting, and seems like the Township Committee and the BID are lacking some type of communication there. I know they have a meeting Thursday, I believe, with you and Mr. Kaiser. And I understand that the budget is being held up that you vote on. According to the BID, our town liaison, who's a voting member of the BID, has only attended 5 meetings over the last 2.5 years. And they're Zoom meetings. So really, you know, that's a lot to miss. The Township Committee put David Barnett as a liaison last year illegally. State statute and the town ordinance clearly states that the liaison must be a Township Committee member. Getting rid of the BID by not passing their budget would be a mistake. I understand the committee's not happy with their leadership, perhaps Beth Lippman, yet their board voted unanimously to keep her. The success of the neighboring towns such as Cranford, Westfield, and Millburn is not by chance. These towns have implemented successful bids. We started the bid back when we were on the committee in 2011. And the way that was started was talking to the mayors of Millburn and Cranford, who was the first town in the state of New Jersey to start such a thing. And when I asked them how they built up their downtown, they all said one thing: you have to start a business improvement district. Our bid started the redevelopment plan. Without them working on that and then passing it off to the town at the proper time, I don't know where we would be right now with redevelopment. You have members up there that have given up so much time and go to all these meetings, and you know who they are, since 2011. You know, if you're not happy, if there are not things that are not being communicated, you have to be at those meetings. You have to communicate correctly like any good business would, and fix what you think is wrong. Give them goals, set some standards for them, tell them what you want. But I don't think that's being communicated from the meeting I was at. You know, you need to help them too with either some type of tax, incentives to bring businesses in. You know, whether it be tax breaks, streamlined permit processes, other initiatives that you guys I know can come up with. You know, these guys are entrepreneurs up there. They know how to run their businesses. You gotta communicate with them, and you gotta do a better job with them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public comment portion of the meeting and ask for an adjournment.
No, hold up. Hold up, I have a couple comments.
Sure.
Before if
Oh, I'm sorry.
You
Go ahead.
mind?
My fault.
I'll go, you want to go
I'd like to
first?
say-
or
just say one
I
thing.
will,
That's
I
it.
will respond to the lobbyist, and it was not a debate, Mr. Fernandez, but the Broadway Mayor's Council, we decided to not renew the contract of the lobbyist because we already ascertained the federal funding that they helped us get, and it is part of, in that budget. So instead of paying a lobbyist, so you're forgetting, we decided to put money towards retaining an engineering firm to start doing studies and helping with designs for future plans. We are set to meet, I don't know off the top of my head, the next meeting, but I believe it's end of this month or early June. It is on my
the end
paper
of this-
calendar.
It's the end of this month.
And
I don't even know the exact.
And I will certainly be in attendance as the representative that this board has chosen. And as part of my day job, I communicate with Millburn frequently on this. So just to clarify that. If somebody has to respond to the others, I don't know, I think you guys do,
Well,
and then
as
I
one-
just have a couple comments.
I guess we'll just go down the line.
So from what I understand, they came with the budget, and it was raising the business taxes. We're trying to keep the businesses in town. It's a bad economy, you know that. So we're trying, that's why it was not passed, the budget.
No.
That's why it was not passed, because we talked about it, we went over it, and that was it. Okay.
So, I'll speak for myself. Myself, Deputy Mayor Kaiser attended a meeting a couple weeks ago with the leadership of the bid. It was a pretty courteous meeting. I'm speaking for myself.
Mr. Mayor, can we please have decorum in the ordinance?
Excuse
speaking
me.
for
I
myself.
would like to remind everyone that this is not a conversation.
Just-
The time was, the member of the public came up, he spoke, he walked away, he yielded the rest of his time, and now the Township Committee is responding, and this is not a conversation. These are comments from the Township Committee that they requested of me before we adjourned.
Myself, Deputy Mayor Kaiser, I think it was a pretty courteous and constructive meeting. We came up with deliverables that the leadership of the bid had agreed to. And speaking for myself, and I feel that I'm speaking for Deputy Mayor Kaiser, we want to go to bid meetings. We're going to work with the bid. Nobody on this dais has the immediate plans or plans at this moment to disband the bid. I personally did not feel comfortable voting for the bid budget because they wanted to bond more money. I did not feel comfortable voting yes for that reason. I communicated that to the bid. I thought it would be an adverse effect on taxpayers in Springfield in the future. We are working with the bid to solve their budgetary issues so it gets to the point that they can continue to function, continue to better Springfield with the Township Committee. And I'm going to ask Alex if he'd like to volunteer between him and myself to go to bid meetings. And that's where I'm at.
So it's interesting that I'm going to try not to air out dirty laundry from anybody that belongs to the bid or anybody that's attended one meeting in the bid or so on. But the fact of the matter is I'm the one that's attended the bid meetings from the beginning for about 2.5, 3 years. I stopped going. I stopped going because you want to talk about communication. Things that we requested weren't fulfilled. For 2 to 3 years. And every meeting I went to, and again, I'm going to try not to air dirty laundry out, it became an administrator meeting. That was the only thing we had that we participated in this entire meeting. Now, I'm glad you went to one meeting and that's the information you got. But I'll tell you what, you want to set up a meeting with anybody from the bid, and me, and you and anybody else, I'll be glad to sit there. And I want to see who tells me to my face that anything different happened over there. Because it didn't. Because there were several requests that we had when he was mayor, and when I was mayor. And you know where they went? Out the window. At this point, it is what it is. So
No, there is no conversation.
At
That's
this-
not-
at this
there
point,
not-
it is what it
This
is.
is not a conversation.
and I'll be glad to sit down. All right, at this
This
point,
is
I'll be
not a
glad.
conversation. This is not a conversation. This is not a conversation.
Again, you
wanna
want to have a
talk-
meeting with us,
excuse
we'll
me.
have a meeting.
Excuse me, if you want, excuse me.
Right.
If you want to talk about this and have a conversation, you could do so after the meeting. This is not the proper time. Public comment is over. This is not a conversation. This section is for Township Committee. And to be quite honest with this Township Committee, I give you a lot of credit for speaking. Because when someone gets up there and speaks half-truths, lies, and misconceptions, that's how you get attention. And to be honest with you, it's not worth responding to. So with that being said, I'm going to ask for an adjournment.
Wait, hold on, I just have other comments, just since I
Okay,
missed
please.
the beginning. One question of Mr. Administrator. I heard from a resident, they had, there's a pothole on Mountain Ave, it's like 400 Mountain. It's by the bus stop, I believe, on Mountain Ave, you know, where you turn, if you were going down Mountain, you would make a left into the
I know.
pool.
I know you know.
So I just wanted to bring that up. I got asked about that. I missed the report. It's not Mountain. What is that? Morris. I misspoke. So there's a pothole. I don't know if we can.
We cannot fill it.
We can't fill it, but can we
We can call the state.
we call it DOT because there's a massive pothole, but I think from my understanding, the manhole is like sinking again.
We'll have Ron call the state tomorrow.
Yeah. With that, two other things, just quick comments. The SUP put on an excellent event this Sunday to celebrate Holi. It was fun to once again participate in the color run. I just wanted to, and there was a lot of new faces that attended the event, and it was actually well attended on Sunday on the rain. So congratulations to SUP for putting on a successful event. And then lastly, earlier today, we appointed Ms. Dodson Casimir, and I just wanted to shout her out. I had the pleasure of meeting her when she was moving into town, and she'll be an excellent addition to our zoning board, and she's way smarter than all of us, I can tell you that much, and looking forward to, not that we technically work with the zoning board, but looking forward to bettering our town, and you'll be a great addition to serving our community, so thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Didn't realize that was you. I've known you by your resume, but not by you. It's nice to meet you, and congratulations.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.